Jake,
Yeah,
welcome to
yeah.
Halloween Daily, where every
Thank
day's
you so much.
Halloween. Thanks so
Yeah,
much for hanging
appreciate it.
out today.
My pleasure.
Well, it is my pleasure because whenever I get to talk about a new Halloween horror movie that we can add to our October playlist, it's always an exciting time around here at Halloween Daily, as you might imagine. And that's
Yeah,
what you've given us here with Haunt Season. Can you tell us maybe a little bit about where this story originated for you? Because you are a writer and director and creator of this whole thing. So, how did this start for you?
absolutely. Well, for me, it actually started with my friend Steve, who owns and operates the Realm of Terror haunted house that we shot in.
Nice.
I met him through my real job, which is I shoot and edit for a YouTuber named Rob Scallon, and we shot some music videos at Steve's property. And after shooting one of those music videos, we were hanging around talking about the 13 Ghosts remake and how much we loved it. And he was like, we should make one of those. I was like, okay. And so then I just wrote a horror movie that I enjoyed. I mean, I love all Halloween horror movies, like all the Halloween season horror movies.
Yeah.
I mean, I watch them year round. I just want to feel
Mhm.
that way, you know? So like getting the opportunity to make a Halloween season movie at a haunted house was just couldn't pass it up. It was the best.
And you mentioned that it stemmed from going to this actual haunted house and meeting the owner and kind of being around that atmosphere. Tell us about this attraction that for people that don't know. Where's it located? And tell us a little bit about where you shot all season.
Yeah, dude. Okay, so Realm of Terror has been operating for 22 years now. It is in Round Lake Beach, Illinois. It's about like an hour north of the city of Chicago. And it's kind of like, for me, I thought it was really extreme. Okay. Like, I get really scared at haunts, period. Like, I get scared in horror movies. I love horror movies, but it's not because they don't scare me. Like, I get scared by them, a lot of them. And so like going through a haunt where people are actually jumping out at you is horrifying for me. And I get the adrenaline rush and everything, but it's like really, really nerve-wracking. And especially Realm. Realm is like it's like like a notch above Horror Nights, you know? Like
Nice.
they go a little goopier, they go a little bloodier, and it's they love it. But the thing is too, they're like the nicest group of people. Like I met them before actually going through their haunt. So like once I went through the haunt, I was like, oh my God, what is going on? The nicest group of people you could imagine is putting on this crazy show. And the haunt that we have in the movie is probably a notch under what Realm is actually going to really deliver for you when you go there in terms of
Very cool.
extremity. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, it sounds great. I'm gonna have to check it out myself sometime, I think. Um,
Yeah, dude.
and I like you said, I mean, it's just normal, fun-loving people behind the scenes, and you do show a good deal of that in the film, which I appreciated. Kind of the behind the scenes, and there's that line that a lot of us are just theater geeks and at heart, and it's kind of the same thing, just with more blood and gore and screams and all that. And
Yeah.
and as you said, I mean, Halloween horror, it's its own subgenre, and there's even a whole subgenre now, I think, of haunt set movies. And but you did find, I think, a unique take with your killer, and I'm not going to spoil too much, but the trailer kind of lets you know a little bit that this killer kind of tries on some different masks throughout,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I like that you're not married to one look, whereas some of these other films are. Can you talk a little bit about that? About
Yeah.
choosing these all important various masks and costumes that your killer gets to go on. I got some Terror Train vibes the way he got
Yeah.
to do so many different looks throughout. Can you talk a
Well,
little bit
that
about that, choosing those
for
looks?
sure. Yeah, I loved so when we were getting into the whole thing, I wanted to make it as Halloweenish as possible. So I wanted him to be able to jump, or they, or she, or him. I wanted the killer to be able to jump through the looks of Halloween. So I wanted like a jack-o'-lantern mask, and I wanted a skeleton mask, and I wanted a scarecrow mask. I wanted to hit like the real like stalwart looks. We've got an evil clown in there, and we've got like all sorts of things, but then someone pointed out to me yesterday that the person with the railroad spikes in their head, that mask kind of has like a Hellraiser vibe to it a little bit, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even realize that. It's perfect. So
Yep.
like, I just wanted them to have like a variety, and just for it all to feel like it wasn't about the persona so much as it was about the season, the haunt season. I wanted to like the killer to encapsulate all that you can bring to the season itself. And as for like other haunted house movies, I love them, right? Haunt
Yeah.
is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
And like, so I knew what they, you got Hell House LLC, which totally scares me. They always get me. And they're kind of like supernatural, but Haunt is like less supernatural. And I wanted to make it that the actors were being hunted instead of just the people attending the haunt, which is the usual haunted house thing.
Yes, exactly. And that's what I appreciated too, is that you did take that unique take where we have seen previously where it's people going through the haunted house and they think they're in for extreme scares, and one of the scare actors takes it a little too far. This
Yeah.
Your killer is targeting scare actors a lot of the time here, and I think that was also a unique kind of different approach that I really enjoyed watching this, and it raises a lot of what ifs when you're going through these actual haunts too. What if
Yeah.
this could actually happen? Speaking of, can you talk a little bit about the kills? You know, our audience, they love hearing about the kills, and I know there's a lot of practical effects in here, and you know, obviously working with a low budget. I mean, can you talk a little bit about bringing these kills to life, so to speak?
Absolutely. I mean, practical effects are just really, really important to me. Because like we didn't have a huge budget for, if we had like budget to either like do it all digitally or do it all practically, I wanted to do it all practically. Like it always looks better to me. It always feels more visceral to me. And also when you're dealing with actual like props manufactured by, in our case, Corey Ruby and Kyle Williamson. Those are our special makeup effects artists. When you attack an actual object with a live chainsaw or the like, it reacts in a way that you would not be able to expect or anticipate, or like you're never going to like do that way just by in a computer, you know? And so they built the actual pieces that the weapons were going to interact with. And then I just plated all those shots and had the actors step in and, you know, be in the exact same position as the props. So I was able to marry the live action actors to the built props that were being mangled by our weapons. In several circumstances, that's why in the wide shots, you have actual practical effects on the actors.
And like you said, I mean, doing it that way, you know, keeping it as practical as possible. I mean, you do get that more visceral feeling when you're watching it. I mean, even if it's a prop getting sawed in half, it, like you said, it's going to move a certain way that you just cannot replicate in using digital.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, and I really enjoyed that aspect of it too. And then the soundtrack, you know, I mean, you've got some really cool kind of throwback synth soundtrack going on in the score. Talk to us a little bit about that, because that too, I guess I wasn't expecting that part, but I don't know what I was expecting, but it was really cool. I really dug the soundtrack.
Thank you so much. Our score was done by Rashid Thomas. He's in a band called Nonpoint, which is very different than the kind of music that he provided for the movie. But like, there's so much tension horror going on right now, and I wanted to have tension sequences, but a lot of our horror sequences also kind of are action sequences a little bit, and that thumping synth soundtrack kind of just made more sense, and it made it a lot more fun, you know? Like, I love that a lot of horror right now is very, very serious and very, very grim, and I love those. I watch them. I'm dying to see The Substance. I can't wait. But I'm just too busy trying to market this thing right now. But I just wanted to make one that was more fun, like the slashers that I remember. And slashers generally are a little more fun anyway than kind of like psychological horror. But I just wanted to make a fun one, and the score really provides a lot of pulse to that, and a lot of energy to those sequences. And I like listening to it. I'll just listen to it even without the movie.
Yeah, and I think you did exactly what you set out to do. I mean, it is what I would call a fun watch, a fun slasher watch. If you know, for those of us that enjoy that type of fun viewing experience, of course.
Thanks,
and yeah, it really captures the Halloween season, as the title implies, and the
just real quick, can I ask you a question? Who was your favorite character in the movie?
My favorite character, I mean, well, I mean, Matilda being the main character is great.
Cool.
I don't. who was the one? She's always doing the nude selfies and everything. And
Yeah, that's Celeste. That's Celeste.
Celeste, yes,
Yeah.
okay, maybe her. I don't know that.
Yeah.
Um,
No, she's so fun. She brought so much like just like manic energy to that part, and just
yes,
like the whole thing about the movie too is about people who are trying to make their own thing into a reality, right? And so she, as like an Instagram like goth model,
yes,
like a OnlyFans girl, has built her own platform. Bradford, as the haunt owner, has built his own platform. It's all about like creative people building the worlds that they want to see, you know, and then hacking people up. And so like those two things are some of my favorite things. And so I was really glad I got to put them together.
and you do. I mean, some of that dialogue is definitely in there, and it hits on that, and some of the themes you're talking about making it your own and kind of owning your own experience and all that. And even back to Halloween itself, I love. Again, I won't spoil anything, but I mean, there's a great monologue at a certain point that a certain character gives about just Halloween itself and kind of
Yeah.
the ancient traditions and all this. And I loved how you just dug just enough into that to, somebody like me, I'm just smiling and loving all of that right there.
Of course you did, dude. It's basically a Halloween 3 speech.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I love Cochrane's speech in Halloween 3, so you're right.
Yeah.
It's kind of an homage to that in a
Yeah.
lot of
It's got
ways.
a very similar energy. Very similar energy.
Um, for my last minute or so before I let you go, I know you're super busy, and again, I love the movie. Everybody's going to be watching it this Halloween season.
Thanks,
I think
dude.
it's obvious. I know you celebrate Halloween. I think I've learned that here in the last few minutes. But what does the holiday mean to you? If you could distill it down, what is Halloween in your life?
It's just it's the one time a year where everybody gets as spooky as the rest of us. You know, like where
Yeah.
like we love all the spooky stuff year round, and then for just 30 days, well, it used to be 30 days. Now it's more like 60, which I really
Yeah.
appreciate.
Yep.
Like now, like everybody joins us. I love walking into the convenience store and just seeing the aisle that pops up overnight that just is populated with all fun, you know, Jack and Sally stuff. Like
Yep.
I just it's that time of, and it's there, you have to watch scary movies. It's like the rest of the year you got to fit it in around the other things and the normal entertainment and for the normies, but like you have to watch scary movies. And the old ones that you love and the new ones that are coming out, check out Haunt Season.
Absolutely. And I know our audience and a lot of people are going to be checking it out and they're going to enjoy it like I did. All right. Our final question. It's a two-parter. We always try to ask if we have time. Your favorite Halloween costume that you've ever worn and your favorite Halloween candy.
My favorite Halloween costume that I ever wore, I was Spike from Cowboy Bebop. I
Nice.
did my hair green and everything, and I looked really, really cool. I really pulled it off. And my favorite Halloween candy?
Yes.
Oh, I mean, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, the pumpkins. Yeah,
Yeah.
no doubt.
Yeah. Those pumpkins are magical. There's something they do in there to make them better than any other Reese's
Yeah, the
product, I
ratio
think.
is, of chocolate to peanut butter is a little different, and also you can taste the season. It just happens. I don't know what they're doing to it.
Totally. I like that. You can taste the season in them. That's a great way to describe it. I'm going to use that now. That's perfect.
Awesome.
Well, Jake, this has been awesome, man. Talking to you again. I love the movie, and I know everybody's going to be checking it out this Halloween season, this October, and they're going to be enjoying it as much as I did. And of course, we just want to thank you for taking the time to talk to us, and wish you just the best and most happiest Halloween season imaginable.
Same to you and yours, man. I really appreciate you taking the time.